Hello there, right here we have a brand new snapshot for 1.17. This is 21W17A, and with it comes changes not only for 1.17, but also the second part of the cave update, which is being known as 1.18. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new things you can do in 1.17. Before, small drip leaf could only be placed inside of water, or if it was on a dry surface, it had to be placed on clay. Now they also added the moss block as something you can place it on, as moss blocks are seen to be kind of containing moisture. They made a change to copper ore. Now it will drop more than just one raw copper if you mine it up normally. Now it can produce anywhere between 2 to 3 per ore block. So previously, using Fortune 3 on it would mean that the most you would get is 4. Let's go ahead and give it a try now. Wow, that time I just got 12. That's pretty crazy. Another 12. Wow. We're going to get a lot of copper now with this change. But with this change, now it takes more copper in order to make a copper block. So now instead of a 2x2, you need a 3x3 of copper to make one copper block. This does make it a similar crafting grid as the other precious metals. The copper blocks are going to probably be more used for aesthetics than any other precious metals. They also tweaked the raw block textures. So the iron got a little bit more muddled, the gold got a little bit more brighter, the copper got brighter and a little more defined. Now, besides working on the changes that will come out for 1.17, they also worked on some changes that will come out for 1.18 in the second part of the cave update. They are continuing to update a data pack, and the most recent change that they added is they added in noodle caves. These things are very thin and are very much like noodles, where they kind of string all over the place. But we won't see these until Christmas time of 2021. The noodle caves are also very similar to the spaghetti caves, but they're a lot more claustrophobic and thinner. And the noodle caves are just an addition to all the other cave types that we'll still see. Now, besides this, in the data pack, they also tweaked the large ore veins, which we've seen added in the last one. They made the ore veins slightly rarer and slightly smaller, but they're still going to be large overall. The ores within the vein are going to be more clumped together and less evenly distributed across the entire vein. You'll find kind of like little clumps, but you'll use the surrounding blocks like the granite to kind of help you find the rest of the clumps. And they said if you're lucky, you may find raw ore blocks within the vein. Besides the new features, they're also fixing some bugs. Most of them have to do with the changes made in the cave update. They fixed a problem where making a banner would ignore other stuff inside the crafting grid. There was also problems to do with the world border not shrinking properly that they resolved. Constantly teleporting a player to a phantom was causing the player to crash. They also fixed so that candles are grouped in the recipes. There was a problem that if you would teleport entities between dimensions repeatedly over and over, it could appear that they were duplicated only on client side. Waxed cut copper was showing up twice in the recipe. When generating a void world, there was a platform, and the platform was generating more than once. There was a strange bug to do with horses when you would be riding a horse and you would die on it, and the horse would then be unloaded and you would have to reload the chunks. The horse would vanish when you come back. They changed drip leaf, so if you break the top, it'll no longer leave the bottom stem like it used to. This means we will have to change our drip leaf farm. Instead of the player placing it on top of the old stem, we'll just have to place it on the ground and let it grow up from there. In the floating islands world, the generation was doing some pretty extreme stuff. And I thought this was just the way it was now. But maybe they'll bring it back when 1.18 part 2 of the caves update comes out. They resolved another problem to do with fishing rods and the bobbers. They also fixed a problem that you could not unlock the mossy stone bricks. They also fixed the grouping of mossy cobble and mossy stone within the recipe. In Bedrock Edition, you can waterlog the hanging roots, and this wasn't possible in the previous versions of Java, so now they are adding it in. They solved an issue that I talked about quite a bit, which is we weren't seeing the deep slate variations of coal or copper way down in the bottom of the world, and this also applies to emerald ore in the deep slate variation. But hopefully we can find all three of those types, which would be very cool collectibles to get in survival. They also resolved a problem to do with, in the smelting menu, the ore showing up twice. Now they're grouped together. Amethyst cluster and other variations have the ability to put out light, but they also have a block state where you should be able to turn that light off. But it wasn't working properly, and now it should. Now that they have been fixing quite a few bugs and we're kind of seeing less new features added into these snapshots, we are probably getting close to the full release of 1.17 or the first part of the Caves and Cliffs update. They did mention that 1.18 will be the second part of the Caves and Cliffs update, and every new version like .18 or .19 doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a new theme. as the caves and cliffs is taking such a big chunk of time and resources that they broke it into 2 different versions. We're always coming up with new types of farms and machines for what's going on with the newest changes, so make sure to hop on over to our stream, which is going to start up right after watching this video. You can find the link down below and drop a follow there so you don't miss future streams, as I do it every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And a lot of the crazy glitches and things that we discover ends up becoming quite popular in the future. Don't forget to leave a like on the video as well as share it. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys over there. Bye-bye!